Hello there, creative people. This is Tudor. I'm the co-founder of Blureo, and this is our manifesto. Throughout this short video, I am going to tell you what you can expect from this channel going into the future, as well as how you can help us achieve our mission. Let's get right into it. So here we are. This is a little board that I prepared in order to make this video go a bit faster and get to the point. Okay, so first of all, what is Blureo? Well, if you haven't visited our website yet, you wouldn't have any way to know, so I'm going to tell you. We started as a design as a services agency. We were trying to find as many tech startups as possible that we could improve with our skills in web design and graphic design, which is our area of expertise. Now we're evolving. We're becoming a hub for creative people and tech-savvy people. We are trying to merge these two industries, make people talk to each other and converge inside of a place where there's both entertainment and a lot of education. Now, why are we trying to do that? Well, comparing the design market and the tech market in Eastern Europe, which is where we're from Romania, is revealing a few things. First of all, the design community is way more divided than the tech community. Eastern Europe is lacking in role models and unifiers, and we're also, as a consequence, lagging behind the West. So, what can we learn from the tech industry? A good example is the game design industry, where content is created highly collaboratively. Let's take a look at a current trend which is going on. We have here 3 videos with over 100,000 views, with developers collaborating in order to create a minigame without even knowing each other or ever communicating. And the results are amazing. What do we have to learn from that? We need to be united. We as designers need to become more united and collaborate way more. We need to find new methods which are way more entertaining than what we're currently doing. So our solution for that on this channel is going to be to showcase a high number of good people. A high number of true professionals who have true standards in their work and help you learn from them. And why not even help ourselves learn from them? We are also going to be teaching. Even though our content has to be entertaining, we are going to be learning through entertainment and teaching through entertainment. We are also going to engage in these types of challenges, as we've seen in the game design industry, in order to just spice things up. What can you expect from us in terms of tech stack? Our guests are going to be using any app that they want, really. We are going to be showcasing all kinds of workflows so that you can make an informed decision in your creative process. But as for ourselves, we think that this is the year to start challenging the industry standard. And why is that? Well, these wonderful apps that we are using on a day-to-day basis to satisfy client work as well as personal work are exactly that, challenging the industry standard. Well, maybe except for DaVinci Resolve and Figma, which are as close to industry standard as one can get. Let's start with our web design tool. Bricks Builder plus Core Framework is our web design workflow. These are 2 WordPress-based tools. They have a CSS-based workflow, which means that almost all of the time you are going to be styling at a CSS class level. That also makes your websites highly maintainable, which is not the case for other tools that may be industry standard. Best practices and accessibility are almost always guaranteed if you care for them and if you want to apply them, which we do. The other tool that would compare to this would be Webflow. It also has a CSS-based workflow. But for us, it's very important that we have a bit of a sense of ownership for the tools that we use. Next in line is the Affinity Suite, which I'm definitely most excited to be sharing with you. Affinity, in my opinion, is not just an Adobe alternative. First of all, the tools inside of the Affinity Suite are way more consistent than the tools inside of the Adobe Suite. For example, if you have the gradient tool inside of Affinity Designer and it works a certain way, it is guaranteed that the gradient tool will be working the same way inside of Affinity Photo and Affinity Publisher. Next, Affinity Publisher, which you'd be misled into believing is an InDesign clone, is actually an absolute design machine. And let me show you what I mean by that. This is a small branding project that I've done inside of Affinity Publisher. Now, why would I choose a desktop publishing app for a branding project? We've already established that Affinity Publisher is not just a publishing app. Why is that? Because if I create a document just like this one with no master pages, I can select my artboard tool and just resume my normal workflow that I would be using inside of Adobe Illustrator. And what's more, besides having all of my publishing tools right over here and being able to create text styles and character styles and so on, with just a click of a button, I can open the same document inside of my designer persona, and all of the layers that I've created in my publisher persona are still available to be edited with vectors, with gradients, the pen tool, the shape builder tool, and all of your favorite vector tools. Then with another click of a button, I can open my photo persona, and inside of my photo persona, I can do stuff like this or like this. I can edit photos and do selections and apply adjustment layers. I can create mockups and use the UI that I've created inside of Designer, inside of the mockup, which I've imported in Photo. Now, isn't that just a brilliant way of working when you're doing design? It allows me to do stuff like this, which uses functions from all of the free apps inside of a single application. Of course, just as it is the case with any other workflow, when you switch from Adobe to Affinity, there is a trade-off. Affinity doesn't have as good AI tools as Photoshop and Firefly recently added to the Adobe Suite. But that's why we've chosen to go with Luminar Neo for our photo editing and photo processing and photo generation, photo AI editing. And let me tell you something, there's a lot of people out there who are saying that Luminar Neo has way more powerful AI tools than Photoshop, even though their server space is not as great and they take a little bit longer to generate. I can take that because the results are almost always better. Let's get into the final section of our manifesto, which is exactly what video formats are we going to approach in the future. Our videos are going to be highly collaborative. We are going to continuously improve production quality because we're learning along the way as well. And we are going to be trying to do one video per week. First of all, more tea talks. Tea talks is this kind of video format where I bring my tea, cheers, you bring yours, and we have a chill talk. And maybe we'll do those live in the future. I cannot wait for that. Then tutorials, but with real life examples. Just as I've showed you before, this is a real life branding project that I've worked on. This, next to it, is a real life stationery layout, which I've done for a real client. I'm going to be doing Affinity tutorials, Bricks tutorials, and tutorials on all kinds of workflows, but with real life examples, because then there's something for every creative to learn. If you already know the tools that I'm using, if you already know the workflow that I'm doing, you have a chance to take a look inside of a real workflow for a real example, for a real design client. If not, you can learn about the process and about the tools and implement those on real work, not on imaginary triangles and rectangles. Finally, for our long format videos, we are going to be doing seminars, which are kind of like podcasts, but with half talk, half live work. We are going to do them kind of like logotherapy from the future, if you know the series, but with all kinds of creatives. We are going to be having photographers, videographers, game designers, web designers and graphic designers, and maybe many more display their professional workflows for all to see. We are going to be doing useful critics in case they're live from you, the audience, in case they're not, from us, Blureo. We are going to talk about the industry experience inside of the first part of the videos, which is going to be the podcast part, so that we can show the world that creatives all around the world, and especially here where we're from, Eastern Europe, really mean business. And there are real professionals here on the market who are applying industry standards and working their asses off to do quality client work. In order to wrap this up, as I've stated from the beginning, Blureo has to be a hub for creative people and tech people alike. We are waiting for your ideas, your video ideas. We are waiting for your messages if you want to feature your workflow or your previous work. And if it's not too much to ask and you're really interested in what there is to come on this channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and help us reach as many creatives as possible. Until next time, cheers.